World Wide Web, P Daddy, your angry toy guy, back after a 2-week hiatus. Yeah, some of you are probably right. I will probably be late to my own funeral. Oh, Lord. So, back after a 2-week hiatus, I do apologize about that. Unfortunately, cancer's a bitch. Lost a friend this past week. All that, I had to go see him last weekend before he did pass away. I was going to try to do this last Saturday, but I was really not in the mood, especially after I literally went down and seen him come back. Wasn't more than an hour or two after I got home. Was starting to try to set all this up. I was going to do it last Saturday. Got the notice. So we're back. And this week, I'm just going to say I'm Aaron Johnson fashionably late. 2 weeks and 3 minutes late. All right, but enough about that one. We're here tonight because I promised y'all we would be talking about Trapjaw tonight. Oh, Cronus, the Wizard of Weapons himself. We're going to talk about him. Now, I was going through earlier today trying to find all my damn toys and stuff, and my loose vintage Trapjaws went MIA tonight. We're not unboxing it, but I'll just show this one off. And it's killing me with this light. I'll be glad when that new office gets done. Trust me, I got better lighting set ready to be set up in there. It's not going to give me all this glare and crap. Anyways, so everybody, welcome to the party. Say Dano, Dweller, your Trapjaw is at my house. That goes to explain where it's actually at, Manning. So, Ruddy and Rice, thank you for joining me tonight. Now, this may or may not coincide with what Aaron Johnson's doing tomorrow. I can't get him to tell me officially. I'm just going by hints that I've seen off the countdown to Syrupy Saturday. All right. So, let's get this party started. And if anybody can, go there and feel free to share, get people in here, whatever. Well, we can get this party going pretty good. All right, so originally, he's waffling his virginity tomorrow night. Dude, Johnson ain't seen that one since he was probably a little pup. I guarantee you that one. Three boys later, he's still going. One second. Shut up. Right. Quit. No. Anyways, guys. So Trapjaw started out in the whole A2 mini comics as an interdimensional cyborg criminal. Yeah, you're right. Heads are about to roll. Live auction waffle night. What? Oh, God. Yeah, you're right. Heads are about to roll. Like, everybody knows when that door shut, it's E-Daddy's lifetime. I already go out to the truck and get the roll of duct tape. Wouldn't be the first child I went through and duct taped to a wall. Probably won't be the last. I could probably get in trouble for just admitting that one. Dano, when you think about it later on, you'll be thinking, man, E-Daddy might be right about that. All right, yeah, like I said, originally he was an interdimensional cyborg criminal. Had the lower metal jaw. Right arm was a mechanical where he could attach various weapons. Boys, y'all making me laugh pretty good tonight. That is, Man, zip ties don't work that well. You can't zip tie their mouth shut. I've tried that on a few ex-employees a time or two. All right. Am I completely thrown off now due to y'all's comments? During my research about all this with Trapjaw / Cronus, put the kids up on eBay. Dan, you're giving me too many ideas here. I've got those big, thick ones too. The ones that's like half inch wide, about 4 foot long. That would probably work. I hate to say it's like, because I guess it's just, for the longest time, actually, that whole thing with the metal hoop on Trapjaw's head was actually bugging the fuck out of me. I couldn't honestly remember what the hell it was for until I was going back through and reading up and everything. I had an idea. And I'm just going to do my public service announcement. Drugs are bad. Yeah, I was like, it was a zip line thing, and I completely, totally forgotten about that because all the stupid shit I've done over the years, I'd completely forgotten altogether about him using it for zip lines or, in order to go down and drop in on enemies and stuff like that, or to help him escape. I seriously did. I'd completely forgotten about that. Now, originally, he started out, he was like a greenish yellow colored with a different colored loincloth, whatever you want to call it. We'll go with the wrestling standard, different colored tights on. Instead of the metal boots, he had fuzzy ones on. Ended up on Eternity when he he was trying to escape for something, and he accidentally came to Eternity via a dimensional portal that was created by Skeletor. That he ended up right smack dab in the middle of a Castle Grayskull. And he arrived there. It gave him great and immense power. He was planning on trying to overthrow Eternia. It took He-Man and Skeletor uniting their two halves of the Power Sword in order to go through and defeat him. Afterwards, Skeletor went through and claimed him. Said, "You're not one of my evil warriors." Took off with him. In all honesty, that would be the color of his skin. That it would probably be one of the few times. It'd be the only time you'd really see him in that yellow color. After that, it always seemed like they always showed him as being blue with the green face. Which I'm going to delve a little bit more on that later whenever we go over the figures themselves. Filmation cartoon, they showed him as being a skilled mechanic and inventor. He was nicknamed, the Wizard of Weapons. That big metal jaw, he could pretty much go through and bite through almost anything he wanted. He could also digest anything he ate. Worked well with Beastman, as we saw him and Beastman teamed up on multiple occasions. And when he decided to go through and strike out on his own, he had a base there in the Sands of Time, where he'd also occasionally team up with Lord Mosk. Now, I will agree with Mr. Ruddy, Mr. Rudman, and Dano. Matter of fact, Trapjaw was one of my favorites as well. Probably one of my top 4 figures in the entire line whenever I was a kid. For much of the same reason, the interchangeable parts. The reason why Trapjaw was actually so cranky, he couldn't get laid anywhere, couldn't give no woman no oral foreplay. Just due to the fact that damn metal jaw, what woman's gonna want anything from him? Fuck that. Should we talk about the new elephant that came into the room? And I'm talking about that chick that's doing YouTube videos real quick. Did the thing about skeleton earlier. Everybody was talking about it yesterday. I did this morning go through and I did catch that video. Dano, there is a picture in the 2012 DC Comics where you'd almost think that Trapjaw did get a hold of Octavia and she did give him crabs. I mean, the picture alone speaks volumes. You'll have to check it out sometime, brother. Yeah, I sat there and watched that earlier, and I'm gonna have to rewatch it again because half the time I'm pretty sure I was going like this, going, I would love to either get her on here or Joe and Tyler get her on their show and be like, hey, what qualifies you to be talking about any of this? And are you fully doing all your research? She did a lot of it, apparently. But she missed a few things, too. And I know Rudman's going to give me shit about saying this one. If Super 7 ever goes through and releases Skeleton in their Classics collection, I'm going to love seeing their take on a backstory with him. I really am. All right, we got that one out of the way. I will continue on. On now to the 84 UK World Annuals. Trapjaw was also still a cosmic criminal who was imprisoned at the Prison Star. Was one of its most vicious criminals, and he did manage to escape and ally himself with Skeletor. Rest of it was pretty much the same as we'd seen in both Filmation and the mini comics. Princess of Power. He was there on and off, but in his final appearance, he was teamed up once again with Beastman. They overthrew Sweet Bee's entire race and demonstrated a new attachment which would allow him to fly. Now it kind of makes sense on, I think, one picture I've seen of Trapjaw with like all of his different attachments, and it had different ones. And then I got to looking at the End of War's weapon pack, which I've got hanging behind the computer screen. That would go to explain those extra attachments that's in there, along with Trapjaw's extra gun attachments, I guess in case you lost the ones that you had. But really, I mean, Trapjaw really wasn't used early on a whole lot, except for like the mini comics, the UK World Annuals, of course, Filmation, and Princess of Power. You look at other characters, and they're long ingrained into a lot of the different comics and books and everything. I lost him. So needless to say, we really wouldn't see anything of Trapjaw again until, the 2000X series, in which we actually got a new, more interesting glimpse into Trapjaw. He did first appear as Cronus, blue-skinned member of Keldor's forces, whenever they went through and they attacked the Hall of Wisdom. He only sported his green face and metallic jaw, along with his cybernetic arm years later, which I wondered about that until I got to reading the MVC comics, where they go through and explain that, and I'll do that in a minute. His arm at this point, who'd you lose, Dano? Is my internet going that bad or something? Dan, if you can see me, how many fingers am I throwing up? Okay. I'm going to say, brother. It's like, I'll reset this if I got to. This is the first time where really Trapjaw was shown with that whole cybernetic arm, and instead of him going through and being able to take the pieces, weapons pieces off, 3 hands, sweet. Oh, hell. Anyways, to where instead of, him taking pieces off or replacing pieces, no, it was going through and it was transforming into a multitude of shit, and that was cool as hell. I loved what they did with Trapjaw in the 2000X series. Could still pretty much eat and devour anything. That one's going up on the chat board. I can't help it. That's just too damn funny. Where was I? Could still almost eat just about anything, including Eternium. Although he was pretty much dull-witted, he was a fierce and loyal warrior to Skeletor. Now, we saw him in the 2000X series. We know, from the origin story, the first 3 episodes, it goes from showing him as, regular warrior into, years later behind the Mystic Wall. He's got that cybernetic arm and shit. Hey, what the hell happened here? We finally did get an answer. The MVC comics explain that after Skeletor and the evil warriors were trapped behind the Mystic Wall, Cronus pretty much went through and he questioned Skeletor's authority. Skeletor thus went through and kicked him out of Snake Mountain, made him go survive on his own. Old Cronus went through, he amassed himself a massive army, decided to challenge Skeletor there at Snake Mountain. When he finally did confront Skeletor, why am I losing everybody? Skeletor pretty much dealt him a crippling blow to his jaw, his face, and his arm. Skeletor did spare his life, however, and had Triclops go through and fashion him in the metal jaw and cybernetic arm. Also in that comics, Evil-Lyn went through off to the side, and she pretty much called Trapjaw a coward. But he told her, it's like, hey, I'm only working for Skeletor until I can find the ideal opportunity and time to go through and kill him. Which would go through and prove something that they would show later on. Dan Rice, you're correct. That comic was badass. I'm trying to get as many of them as possible. In this month, thank God, Lexington Comic Con's coming up. I can try to go through and find more of those MVC comics. Now, the Classics canon. Damn, I might have to get with you about that one. All right. So the Classics canon had Cronus as an insane criminal from the dimension of Infinita. For a long time, he was working as a thief and a mercenary alongside his friend Psychor is the only thing I could find out or figure out on how to pronounce that. Cross pretty much went there and trade his buddy in order to escape from a horde patrol. But, eventually Cronus did get captured and he got put in an intergalactic prison where Skeletor went through and freed him and other evil warriors to fight by his side. He became Trapjaw pretty much in ways he did in the MVC comics. And also did fight beside Skeletor in the second Ultimate Battleground. So, there really wasn't, they took a little bit of other canons and kind of melded it all together, which was cool. Now to the 2012 comics, and if anybody hasn't read that line, much like a lot of people do, I do suggest going through and reading that line without a doubt. They offered another kind of interesting backstory to Trapjaw. In this one, when he was Cronus, he was a shady trader in weapons, tech, and information. I'm pretty sure here on Earth we call that an arms dealer around here. During a robbery, I'm definitely gonna have to get that set that Ruddy got. He-Man threw a crushed blaster rifle at Cronus in order to go through and prevent his escape. And process, it went through and it shattered his jaw. Took Cronus a long time to get back to his shop in order to try to fix himself. But he lost a lot of blood. And if it wasn't for the nanites, whatever, that's what saved his life. Also gave him that cybernetic right arm and that metal jaw. Now, in those, Trapjaw would pretty much play both sides. He was not loyal to Skeletor, not one bit. Because he'd play both the heroes and the villains against one another. He did want revenge on He-Man and pretty much claimed that, he was playing the long game as far as revenge goes. Later on during their final battle, Skeletor bomb pretty much went off in Triclops' visor, and both Trapjaw and Beastman were caught in the blast and supposedly perished, as we never saw them again after that. To be honest, kind of a sucky way for them to go out, in all honesty, because could have had so much more with him, especially, as they went later on, and he could have been more helpful to him. But it is what it is. But like I said, Triclops is probably one of my two favorite villains. Dark Soldier, welcome to the party. Yeah, you're right. It's been a minute since I put out a new video. If you go through and you rewatch this from the beginning, I actually explain why it's been 2 weeks since the last time I did one of these. But anyways, as a kid, yeah, Trapjaw was probably one of my most used figures without a doubt. As far as the Evil Warriors goes. I mean, there were so many cool things you could really do with him. And like I said, with the interchangeable pieces that they gave you, it was pretty cool. Like I said, the loose Trapjaw, he's MIA somewhere, and I'll probably find him whenever I get close to time with the new office space and all that. So anyways, we're going to take a look at my mint on card one. Which, yes, it is one of the reissues that they did back in 2000. I don't care. It still looks fucking cool shit. They gave you the gun hand and the Trapjaw, or the clamp hand. Yes, the commemorative edition. Thank you, Dano. I was having a real hard time trying to remember what they called those. Which is cool. I mean, they did everything just about right with the packaging on this, you know, even though it was a 12 figure showing. Still had the original artwork with it and everything. And the comic inside, which does show him as being yellow inside there. So pretty sure it's still the same one, just a reprint of that one as well. But yeah, I mean, no matter what, that damn light, I can't really turn that one off, because I do, then we lose pretty much all light in here. You know, had the ring on his head, had the movable jaw and all that. An arm where you go through and interchange pieces. To be honest, I have yet to find like a Trapjaw one, the vintage style, that where it went through and you had bad legs on it. I don't know why. I've never really had an issue with that. All right. For once, I actually have a 2000X figure. It is still mint on card as well. We've talked about my feelings about the 2000X figures. I mean, they're kind of statuesque in a way, but still pretty cool. They went through, and yeah, they did the same thing. You know, they gave it to where it had the, you know, we could take the hands off or the ends off, weapons off, change them out. Even though we know in the show, they'd go through and change on its own. Now, they really did an awesome job with the sculpt on this one. And in all honesty, this is probably like one of the few 2000X figures I really like seeing. Because, I mean, they just went all out on the sculpt with it. Yes, I'm going to get to the classics figures. One thing I'm not going to show, because I forgot actually about getting it out, was the Filmation style Club Grayskull one that Mattel did. See, James, on that one, I don't know on that one, because of the fact that whenever 2000X first came out, I did start collecting them somewhat. I never did manage to get my hands on a Trapjaw at that point, because it seemed like the only thing damn stores were always carrying was fucking He-Man and Skeletor. Which kind of sucked in a way. So I think I won that one in a waffle somewhere. I don't remember if it was at Johnny's or over at Aaron's. I'm thinking it was at Johnny's. Now, Loyal Subjects went out, and they did, in their first wave, they went through and both said, you know, they gave us Trapjaw with the different weapons and everything. and they kept him on point. He's known I got an issue with trying to get him to stand halftime. It just depends on what weapon you put on there. But you got the two different color variations to him. Jaws movie still got that ring on his head. And of course, like I said, the interchangeable parts. Now, I don't know, because I've never seen it. If you ever do it, so I'm standing the arm and too heavy. But overall, yeah, I do agree with you, meaning that was probably one of the favorites right there. And just what the way the sculpt was along, with it all on its own. I'm still halfway tempted to dig in this box back here and find the Filmation version of Trap Jaw. But anyway, so we'll go ahead and we'll talk about the classics one. Now, once again, Mattel and Super 7, they went through and they nailed this one out of the park with the way they made him look. I think they should have done something with his jaw to go through and keep it from opening so much, because you can open it all the way up and see what's left of his screwed up lower jaw. Now, it's pretty cool. They made to where you could go through, it still had the same arm attachments with the clamp hand, the gun, and the hook. That's the other piece I was thinking of in the vintage piece. But where you go through, pop his arm off, take that little side piece right there, take it off, put his regular arm on, pop that head off, pop that one on. We got ourselves a Cronus at the same time. For me, jaw was just there to hide where he did not have a jaw. Well, we knew he had somewhat of jaw just due to the fact that he could keep eating things. But it was pretty awesome that Mattel went through and they made sure to do this about as right as possible to give us both Cronus and Trap Jaw all in the same. Some point I'm going to go through and I'm going to find me like an extra Trap Jaw body. I don't care if it's missing the right arm or not, so I can go through and at least have a Cronus and a Trap Jaw. I had him packed up. I was honestly thinking about trying to do this show the other day while I was in Indiana that Wednesday night after the funeral was over. I didn't, because one, I was just absolutely tired. But whenever I took Trap Jaw out of the baggie, I got looking. I was like, and I'd been fiddling with him. Forgot to put his cybernetic arm back on, but gave him his Trap Jaw head. And I hadn't really noticed until I was sitting here getting ready to do the show, and I was like, oh crap. Set him back up as Trap Jaw. But hang on, let's see here. By the way, any members over at the Motu Man Cave that's here tonight, which is pretty much everybody's here. There's about 27 figures I got left up for sale, guys. After today, whenever the swap shop opens up, I'm probably going to put them up on the swap shop. I'm heavily considering it. Sweet. Found him in a hurry. All my loose figures that I'm still keeping. Yeah, I've got them all bagged up together so I made sure I wouldn't lose anything. Dano, you let me know, and I'll shoot you pictures, and I'll hold them for you, brother. Right now, I'm holding some for a guy who went through, and he bought Hordak off me Sunday or Monday. And then I'm holding a few for Lord Freshington. But anyways, so I said they went through and they gave him the bow blaster, the fly swatter, and I know I seen Trapjaw use the fly swatter in a few of those Filmation episodes, but seriously, was there a good enough reason to go through and be giving him the fly swatter with this film, the Filmation look? Now, thank God, the one thing they kept the same that they've done all the other figures, they made sure to give him his blaster, his regular gun. But the whole bow blaster thing, I can agree with that one, the gun. And yes, the fly swatter was funny, which, come to think of it, I'll see if this little sucker works whenever I get new office done. Flies getting there. I'm like, hey, we got a used fly swatter for Filmation Trapjaw. Now it's got me wondering and thinking. Shoot, yeah. There we go. We can use those on regular classics trapping. I'm gonna have to go through and like make me want to find me a black one for that. I'm trying to look at some of the pieces in that End of War's weapon pack, and I said, way to go, Dano. It made me wonder and think. Oh. It's funny because it almost looks like he's got like the flying fist attachment there, along with the flying piece to make him look like he can fly. Oh, looks like he got another little flying piece up in here too. Didn't notice that till right now. So I know I've got some of these already loose, and I'm going to try to use them for some of my customs. But anyways, all right, so Trapjaw overall. It was great because, I mean, the classic style they could go through, he would stand. It didn't matter which arm attachment you went through and you put on him, he would stand. They nailed it out of the park with the sculpt and the way he looked and everything. It was great that they went through and they gave him, the extra head and the arm to turn him back into Cronus. Same goes for the Club Grayskull counterpart. Honestly, it was just it was really funny about the fact that they gave him a fly swatter. The only thing I wish they would have done was set it up kind of like the toy, to where you could at least take these and attach them onto Trapjaw. I mean, they did it with the classics figure. It was always done on all the rest of the figures. Oh crap, we're not done. I forgot about something. Don't you think about it. Crap. Now I know why I had those standing there. Haha. Probably not one of everybody's favorites, but there is the the pop vinyl figures. The original come out was the green-faced, blue-skinned Trapjaw, and if you went to FYE, you could find the greenish-yellow mini comics version of Trapjaw. Also, if anybody's got an FYE near their house and they haven't gotten themselves the mini comics version, you might want to go look, because I know a couple weeks ago they had like at least at mine, they had a bunch of them clearanced out for like $4.99 a piece. So it might be something worth checking out. All right, overall, the vintage figure itself, well, I think we're all in agreement here, was just a badass looking figure. We can't really complain too much about it. It even had the hooks on the belt in order to go through and keep the extra arm attachments. Same with the 2000X figure, even though it's statuesque and it's kind of a pain in the ass to keep standing, according to James Manning. They still had the hooks on the belt to go through and keep it, and keep the pieces there. Yeah, the pop figures, they don't come with extra arm attachments. See, the mini comics version does come with the gun, as does the regular green-faced, blue-skinned one. The Loyal Subject figures, they also had the thing on there to go through and keep the weapons there. Classics figure did too, just the Filmation Club Grayskull one did not. I am so freaking... Like I said, you guys cannot have no idea when I'll be excited to get that office up and running. But overall, I mean, Mattel overall, and they went there and they knocked it out of the park. At some point, and yes, I know some of y'all gonna give me shit about this. I am gonna get the 5.5 Filmation figure from Super 7. And at some point, I will get the Super 7 mini comic version. Be my luck tomorrow night. I'll hop in on that one and then actually end up with it. And then I'll have a bunch of y'all cussing me. That would be my luck. But I mean, overall, it's one of those figures that no matter how they did, they made him look fucking awesome. Backstory wise, they tried to keep it all together. They melded, classics canon went through, melded a little bit to of everything else all together. The 2012 series, yeah, gave him a different backstory altogether. But in a way, did kind of keep him, in the same kind of frame of mind. As far as he was shady as fuck. And I don't know about anybody else, but I always thought Trapjaw was one of those ones that could possibly have been playing both sides, in any of the comics, any of the cartoon series. He could have honestly played either side. Just to be perfectly honest. But overall, all the figures, each one of them with the way they look and the way they're sculpted and everything. And boy, I've been giving too many of these out lately, but I will go 4 out of 5. Always wanted Hordak to mod him. To be honest, I always kind of wondered about that. From a from the stories from before 2000X and the MVC comics come out. And especially reading about the fact that, at one point he was escaping the Horde, Horde Patrol. Did the Horde at some point, and we're going to say pre-2000X, did the Horde in some way go through and have a hand in Trapjaw looking the way he was? Very interesting question to be asked on that one. Because let's face it, they don't give us too much of a backstory anywhere in any of the comics or anything. Like I said, pre-2000X. Did Hordak have something to do with Trapjaw looking the way he did? That right there is an awesome childhood storyline right there. Because in all honesty, it would make a lot of sense, that the Horde and Hordak had something to do with Trapjaw being the way that he was. Dan, I'm telling you, we'll need to get together and actually just make our own Motu movie, and we could incorporate something like that into it. And this is true. Hordak did have the same arm function when you think about it. So, I mean, it does make sense that Hordak possibly did have something to do with Trapjaw looking the way he did, pre-2000X line series. They also go to make you think, did Triclops at some point, and this is involving the 2000X, did Triclops at some point or another have some kind of a influence from the Horde? Even though, really, in all honesty, you don't see Hordak with the gun arm in 2000X. You don't see it afterwards in that. And I don't think, from what I'm trying to remember from reading the 2012 series, I don't remember him having that either. So, I mean, they're saying, in the 2000X series in the comics, hey, it was Trapjaw, or it was Triclops went through and fashioned him this stuff. Did Triclops have a, some kind of thing with the Horde, and remembers seeing something like that? Maybe Hordak could do that, and they just never showed it in the comics or in the cartoon. It's honestly something to seriously think about. But anyways, so that is my review on Trapjaw's backstory, all the canon we've gotten over the years, and a look at the figures we've gotten over the years. I said, honestly, he's probably one of the most badass looking figures in the line, no matter which line. All I can say, and I know if Magnus was here, he would probably throw a fit with what I'm about to say, but thank God that they did not incorporate Trapjaw into any of the New Adventures stories, because I would have seen how he looked. But anyways, like I said, overall, badass storyline, badass figure altogether. The way they sculpted him, the way they made him look. Didn't matter what toy line it was, whether it was the Vintage Series, 2000X, Classics. Well, Dano, there's a good question, because if you look at from Princess Power and Filmation, yeah, he was still alive, and supposedly New Adventures takes place after the newspaper strips, which was also something that was supposed to have continued on from Filmation. So maybe it's just the fact that he's actually on Etheria. He's still ruling Sweet Bee's people. And that's maybe why we never saw him in the New Adventures series. But anyways, I want to thank everybody that went through and popped on today for the conversation and everything. Tomorrow night, Lucky Legends, Syrupy Saturday. Make sure you get involved with it. Because like I said, it may or may not involve Cronus Trapjaw. Also, March 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th here in Lexington, Kentucky. They are having Lexington Comic Con again. Anybody wants to make the drive down, over, up, wherever you're at, come on down, come hang out with me for 4 days. Don't make me be the only one buying all the Motu and Transformer stuff at Comic Con. I will do it. I hate getting those. But anyways, I'm E-Daddy, your angry toy guy. And until next time, everybody, keep on collecting so the lines don't die. Till next time.